Hello everyone, today we're learning Bobekama Kuf Yud Gimel. We're going to start from Kuf Yud base at the bottom, one line up. Omar Ravina. So we were talking about giving a Baldin time to come to Bezdin to call him if there is a Tvien against him. Omar Ravina, Yavina and Zimne, if you want to call someone to Bezdin because someone's suing him, so you could give the appointment for him to come to Bezdin, Apuma de Isisa, send a woman to tell him, you have a din Torah on Thursday, or whenever it is. Apuma de Shivivi, or you could tell his neighbors to tell him. And you only say this, that he's not in town. If this Baldin is in town, why not? We say, the woman or the neighbors never told him, the Amri, they say to themselves, since the guy is in town, the Shlech of Bezdin already told him. So they might not take the job very seriously. And he told them already to come to Bezdin. We only say that they could send the woman or neighbors, when he comes back to town, when he's coming from out of town, his route doesn't pass Bezdin. If his route is past Bezdin, why not? The neighbor or the woman is going to say, on his way back he passes Bezdin, they probably saw him and they told him already, and then they won't tell him the message. That he's planning, that he's going to come back that day. If he's not planning to come back that day, only in a few days, why not? Maybe they forgot to tell him the message. If it's the same day, we trust that they won't forget. But if it's a few days later, we choshesh that they might forget. Someone who's written in him a star that he's in cherem because he's not coming to Bezdin. Because he didn't come to Bezdin. Until he doesn't come to Bezdin, you don't cancel the star and tear it up. If he didn't, and that means if he says he's coming to Bezdin, it's not enough. He means actually to come. If he never listened to Bezdin, until he actually does what Bezdin tell him, we don't tear it up. And it's not true. In the second case where we said about listening to Bezdin, if he says I'm going to pay what Bezdin told me to pay, we tear it up straight away because we trust him, he'll pay. If he says I'm going to come to Bezdin, we stay with what we said before. Rashi explains, because if he says come to Bezdin already, why are you delaying it? You have no excuse. But to pay off, maybe he needs to get money to pay off. That's why it's not paying straight away. Omar Rav Chizda, koivim zman, if we call someone to Bezdin, so you fix a time, Sheni, Monday, Chamishi and Thursday, Vesheni. Zimna v'zimna bosa zimna, twice after one time, basically 3 times you call him if he's not coming. Ulemachar, after the last Monday, if he still didn't turn up, kasvin, and then you write the star against him, like a cherem. Ravasi ikla be Rav Kahana. Ravasi was in Rav Kahana's shtetl. Choza da'isisa. He saw this woman, Dasman Eladina, that they called her to come to Bezdin, Bipanya in the evening, with Safran in the morning, and she never turned up. Kosiv ala psicha. They wrote on her this star of a nidui. Omalei, so Ravasi told Rav Kahana, lo yisovelo ma lehoda Omar Rav Chizda, to Rav Chizda said that koiv nizman sheni v'chamishi v'sheni. That you wait Monday, Thursday, and Monday, and you don't do it after one day. Why are you doing it so fast? Omalei animi legaver donis v'leitze v'mosa, someone who's not in town. So we wait. Aval isa, so this woman came in the isa b'mosa, since she's in town, v'loi asya, and she's not coming already. She's not wanting to come to Bezdin, so straight away we write a cherem against her. You don't fix a court date. Not in the month of Nisan, because people are busy then with cutting their wheat. And not in the month of Tishrei, because people are then busy with cutting their grapes. Not Erev Yom Tov, not Erev Shabbos, because people are busy with Yom Tov and Shabbos. But to invite someone in Nisan, to come after Nisan, to invite someone on Tishrei, boss Tishrei Kavina, and you could tell him on Tishrei or Nisan to come afterwards. On Iyar or on Cheshvan. B'mimale Shabsa, lebosa male Shabsa, to invite someone in Bezdin, Erev Shabbos, to come next week, let's say, Loi Kavin, and why not? My time about the Shabbos Torah, he's busy with Shabbos and he'll forget about this. So busy with shopping and cooking, etc. Amar Nachman, Loi Yavinen Zamno, Loi Libni Kala Bekala. People who come to Shabbos for a drasha in shul, it's called Kala. So if someone came to the drasha, you don't tell them, oh, on Monday you have a court case, please turn up, because then they might not come to the drasha on Shabbos because they know they'll be called to Bezdin. Not people who come to learn Ilches a regel 30 days before the regel, because again, they won't turn up if they know that they might be called to Bezdin. Also, Nachman, when people came in front of Nachman and asked, can you call my Baldin to Bezdin when he comes to your Shia? Did I get them together to give a Shia to call them to Bezdin? No, I came to give a Shia. Don't bother me with this now. People today, that there's people who are Amoim, who cheat. So in any case, you could call them to Bezdin. It says in the Mishnah that if the father stole something and he had a chrayas, and we learned two pshatim about that, the kids do need to return the item. Rabbi taught Reb Shimon his son. Doesn't mean a chrayas nechosim like we learned before. Even if it's a specific item that everyone knows that belongs to the nigzal, because of Kovod Avim, everyone's going to say, oh, this item Reuven stole, so the kids have to return it. Rav Kana asked Rav the Shaila, what the din if someone stole a bed and he lies on it, shulchan, a table, and he eats it? Now, is it like a cow or a donkey that goes in public and people are going to talk about it? Or maybe this is in the house and therefore it's not called Kovod Avim to give it back. Or mitzad people have visitors, they have guests, and then the visitors are going to say, oh, this table, really belongs to Omaloi. So Rav told Rav Kana, ten lachachom v'echkemoid, it's a pasuk, and it meant to say, work out yourself. And yes, mito and shulchan is the same like a cow and a donkey. Says a Mishnah, en protim lo miteva samoichsim v'lo mikishel gaboim. Someone has a 50-pound note, and he wants change, pound coins. So you can't take change from a moiches. A moiches is someone who collects a certain tax, and also Mikishel Gaboim is a different type of tax, because they gazlonim, and we're going to see in the Gemara why exactly they consider the gazlonim. If they want to give tzedakah, we don't accept because it's stolen money. But you could take money for tzedakah or change money from the money that this moiches has in his house or in the marketplace, but not from the box that's meant specially for the taxes. It says in the price of if you owe, let's say, the taxes 45 pounds and you give him a 50-pound note, you're allowed to take the change from him. And Rashi explains because it's considered matzil miyodoi, because otherwise I'm going to lose those 5 pounds. Moichsim, so we said they're called like azlonim, that's why you're not allowed to take change from them. The law of the government is a law and you have to follow it. So why are they called ganovim? They're just taking the taxes. It's talking about the a guy who takes taxes and he doesn't have a limit. It's not like, he has 20% tax, so that's okay, and that's a really dinim mechus, and you have to pay it, and it's not gzeila. This guy takes as much tax as he can with no limitation, and that's considered gzeila. The Rav Yana a different explanation. It's automatic that the king appointed him. He's a tough, strong man, he's a gangster of the neighborhood, and he takes his own tax. In Israel, it's very common. It's called protection, that they take from businesses, and they say, we'll protect your business and no one's going to harm it, and they force you to pay. So we saw these two terutzim of Moiches and Kitzvah, Moiches and Neilov. Now we're going to see different shittas and more. Where did we say it about? Here we said about the Mishnah, but some people say it about other brises or Mishnais. Some people say it about this. It says, Lo ilbash odom kilayim, afilu al gabe asor godim l'arvich boi sameches. You're not allowed to wear wool and flax, kilaim, even though they're not wearing it for enjoying it, you're wearing it only to smuggle into the customs. You have a very expensive kilaim coat, and you go in the airport and you wear it on you, and they say, "Oh, this is a used coat." If you have it nicely new in the suitcase, they might take the tax on it. So you're not allowed to do it because it's kilaim. And even though that's not for ano. So we say, Masisi de like Rabbi Akiva. This Mishnah is not like Rabbi Akiva. The Tanya, we learned in the Brisa, also la avriach, and here we goris boy or bohem, that means with kilaim, esameches. You're not allowed to do that. Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Akiva, mutar la avriach esameches. You're allowed to. So bishleim alein kilaim ba'okum ifligidus semachloikis, if you're allowed about kilaim to do it or not. The Marasov adova shein miskaven, because you're not having kavanah to have enjoyment. But at the end of the day, you're wearing kilaim mutar, and therefore you're allowed to do it. Marasov adova shein miskaven also, even though you have no kavanah to have anor from wearing it, you're still wearing kilaim, and it's also. Elo lavrich boy sameches mishori, are you allowed to smuggle into a country through customs? You have to follow the laws of the government. This is what we said before. Somehow where the guy at the airport takes whatever he wants. It's not like he takes what the law tells him, he's taking extra. That there's no laws from the government to take taxes when you come into the country, but this guy stands at the entrance of the country and does his own taxes. And some people learn these two turutzim about something else. It says, Noidrum, you're allowed to make a neder, no real neder, you make a neder, all my fruit is going to be also on me if these fruit doesn't belong to the king. And that's why you save yourself from the arrogant, someone who's wants to kill you and wants to steal all your fruit. Ulecharomim, it's a different type of a ganav. Ulemoichsim, and tax people. What do you make a neder? She should truma, that belongs to truma and therefore has less value. She should be samelech, that belongs to the king. Afalpi, even though that's not shel truma, afalpi she'eino shel hamelech, it's just a way to get away, to save yourself from such a situation. As a gemara, lemoichsim, for tax people, you're allowed to lie about that. And if you have to pay tax, pay the taxes. The same terutzim we said before. Rav Ashi says here another teretz. Rav Ashi Amar b'moiches knani, tzumba goisha tax collector. The Tanya that we learned, Israel v'knani onos, a Jew and a knani who steals, shebol ledin, he came to the din Torah. If you could make the Jew win in din Israel zakeu, make him win. V'amalo, and tell the knani kach dinenu. That's the Jewish law. If you could make the Jew win with the Canaanite law, make him win, and tell the Canaani, this is how you paskin, so we're going with your psak. And if you can't get, not in Din Israel, or not Bedin Canaani, you can't make the Jew win, and you do all types of tricks to make the Jew win. That's a shit of Rabbi Shmuel. You're not allowed to do all different types of tricks. Why not? Because it's going to cause Chilul Hashem. The whole reason is because of Chilul Hashem. If there's no problem with Kiddush Hashem, you're allowed to go back kifin. As a Gemara of a get the Knani Mishori, you're allowed to steal from a Canaanite. But Tanya Rab Shimon and Dova the Dorish Rabbi Akiva Kshebom is Sfirin. Rabbi Akiva himself, when he came from Syria, said this drasha, Minayin he get the Knani show also, that you're not allowed to steal from a Canaanite. It's talking about a Jew that gets sold to a Canaanite. So we're saying, after he gets sold, that we have to redeem him. And we say, that if a Jew gets sold to a Canaanite, you can't force a Canaanite and pull him, this Jew, away. You have to pay him for redeeming him. Maybe you let the Canaani give charge him extra, like the Hamas is doing. You calculate, give the right amount. You should calculate exactly how much he deserves. He paid a certain amount, 10 pounds works out a year, let's say, so you give him 10 pounds for every year that's left. But we could see you're not allowed to steal this Eved. Why? Because Gezer Knan is also. So it's a Chur to steer. Or Rav Yosef, loy kasha. It's not kasha. Hobi Knani, hobi Ger Toishav. There's two types. A Knani is someone who's over the Zara, then you're allowed to steal from him. A Ger Toishav, he's not over the Zara, but he's still Oichel Nevelis, then you're not allowed to steal from him. But over there, when it's talking about, they're written together. Because it says about someone who deals with Shemitah when it's forbidden, it says his punishment, he won't get sold as a slave to you, to a Jewish person, because it says in the Pasuk they'll get sold to a ger, but tzedek, not to a proper ger who became Jewish, someone who's just living in your land, who's called ger toishav, shenem ger toishav. And then when it says in the Pasuk mishpachas ger, that he'll get sold to someone who serves idols. When it says in the Pasuk oile eker, then someone who gets sold to work for Avodah Zarah, to work in the idol house. So what do we see over there? We can see over there it's talking about even all these type of cases, a ger toishav and a ger, and even a goy, and over there it says gola tieloi, that you have to pay him. You can't just take him back. So we could see even a gezer knan is also not only gezer ger toishav, and amarova nuter. It's like kasha kan b'gzela kan ba'afkas alva also. When did we say that it's also is to literally go and steal from him? When did we say that boim ala ba'akifim is no problem of Kiddush Hashem? Is if you owe him money, then you could do boim ala ba'akifim, because you're not literally stealing from him, you're just not paying back. The pasuk where we say where it's forbidden, it's because we understand that when you pay for Eved, it's like you give him a loan, and now he's paying back the loan with his work. So the Churi should be mutter to love Elo back. If why did we say go loti Eloi? Elomai, even by Alva, you're not allowed to do love Elo back if him. So the Gemara no Rava letamei domer Rava Eved Ivri Gufo Konu. When someone buys an Eved Ivri, his actual guf belongs to the one who bought him. So therefore, if you're going to take this Eved away from him without paying him, it's mamish gezel. It's not afkas alvasoi, and therefore it fits in. When it's mamish gezel, it's asa. When it's afkas alvasoi, it's muta. Amar Bibi Bergidel Amar Abshim Chasida. Gezel Knani also. To steal from a Knanite, it's forbidden. Avidoso, if you found something that got lost, it's muta. Velo also why do Amar Ravona Minanig Gezel Knani show also. How do we know that you're not allowed to steal from a Knanite? Shenerma, it's in the Pasuk V'chaltes Kolami Mashel Hashem Alekecha Noisen Lecho. That you're going to rule them and you could eat from them. When is that? Bizman shemesurim biyotcha, when you're strong. V'lo bizman she'ein mesurim biyotcha, not when they're ruling. And today in the Golus, they're ruling, so you're not allowed to steal from them. Avidosim uteres, but if you found his aveda, you're allowed to take it. Omar Rav Chama bar Guria, Omar Rav, minayin avidos aknani shim uteres. How do you know that a Knanite aveda is muta? Shinem alachol aveda sachicha. All the lost of your brother, you have to give it back lachicha. To your brother you have to return, but you don't have to give it back to the Knanite. Maybe this pasuk is talking about they saw a lost, something that the Knani lost. You don't have to pick it up. They don't have to pick it up and work and find the Knani to give it back. If you picked it up already, maybe you need to give it back. Amaravina, it says in the Pasuk Motzasa. The Osir Yodei Mashma Motzasa, and he found it, and Afilu Ochi, it says Ochicha V'lo Eved Kechavim. So even if you found the Aveda of a Knani, you're allowed to keep it. Tanya Pinchos ben Yoya Arima. Mokim Sheesh Achil Hashem, if it's going to cause problems between the Jews and the non-Jews, Afilu Avidoso also you have to return his Aveda. Omar Shmuel Torah Muteres. If you had a mistake, you're allowed to keep the mistake, and you don't have to say, oh, Mr. Goy, here's your money, you had a mistake, you paid me too much, or I paid you too little. Like the story of Shmuel, Zovan mi Goy, lakne de dava. He bought a piece of gold, b'mar de parzela, and the price that a copper piece cost. The guy thought it was copper, he didn't realize it was gold. Bedalet zuzi, and also there was another mistake that they agreed on paying 4 zuz. And he only paid 3, and the guy didn't realize, and Shmuel didn't pay the extra zuz, and he also didn't tell them it was gold, that it's worth more. Rav Kahana Zabin Megoy, he bought from a guy 120 barrels b'mea, and they agreed on the price of 100. And he only paid 99. Omalei Chazida aloch kosamichna. And Lefi one pshat, Rav Kahana told the guy, look, I trust you to count the money. That if he's going to realize it was a mistake, he'll say, oh, I told you to count it. It's your fault you didn't count. I didn't realize. Sorry. That's one pshat in Rashi. There's another pshat in Rashi, but look over there. Ravina Zelvin Dikla, who guy, they bought a palm tree with partnership with a guy for firewood. And then Omale Lishmaya, Kodam Ba'aisimi Kore, bring me the pieces, when you cut the tree up, let's say they cut it to 20 pieces, bring me the pieces of the bottom part of the palm tree that they fika and there's more wood. The guy Minyono Yoda, he knew that there's 20 pieces, but he doesn't know, he didn't calculate that some of them are fika and some of them are narrow, so bring me the fika pieces. Rav Ashi Abekos de Baruch, Rav Ashi was going in the way. He saw a tree of grapes, the branch of a grape tree in a field. The Tolube Kitufidin, and there was grapes on it. Omale Lishmai told the Shamish, Zil Chozi, go have a look. If they belong to a goy, I see. Bring me some grapes to eat. It is Rolinu, if it belongs to a Jew, loy I see, don't bring me icily. Shama goy Diove Yosef Pardisa, he was sitting in his field and he overheard this. Omale, he told Rav Ashi, the goy shori, what? You're allowed to steal from a goy? That's what's happening here. Omale, goy shokil domi is shori loy shokil domi. If it's a goy, no, I want to pay for it. If it's a goy, you'll accept money from me. If it's Israel, you won't take money from me, so I don't want to take without paying. And Tosfos explains that this is what Rav Ashi really meant mikore. He meant to pay because all the other stories was tosakum. This is mamish gzeila, and we are not saying over here gzeila is mutu. We're saying gzeila is also. There is some shittis like that elsewhere, but here that's not what we're saying. So Tosfos says that Rav Ashi meant to say, actually that's what he meant to do. He actually meant to pay. We learned that Shmuel said, the law of the government is a law. I'll bring you a raya. The katli, dikli, they cut palm trees that belong to people, the gashu grishuri, and they make bridges from them, and we go over them and we don't say, oh, it's gezel, how we nana from gezel. No, because dinah dem al chusadina, and they're allowed to cut these palm trees because wherever they pass it is mutter. Omale Abaye, Vidilma Mishum de Ayush Lahu Minayu Marayu. I said Abaye, maybe the reason is because the owners are Miyayish and therefore it's not also to have an off from it. Omale, Loidina de Malchusadina, Echiniyashi. If not Dina de Malchusadina, doesn't help. Even if it's Miyayish, there's no Shinui Rishus over here. And there's no shinu maisa because it's still called a piece of a palm tree. So therefore, it's not koina. So therefore, used by itself, it's not koina. So it must be because you're allowed to go over these bridges. But the messengers who build these bridges don't do like the king said. Why? Go to every field in the valley and take one palm tree, and from that build the palm tree, build the bridge. The Inu and the messengers, Oslu, they go v'kotlu mechad baga, and they take from the king tells them to go to all the valleys, to all the areas, to take, to spread the cutting from lots of places, and they are lazy and they go and take from one valley, they take all the wood they need, so they're not doing what the king said. So l'chorah should be asked to go over these bridges. So the Gemara, Shlucha de Malka kemalka, the Shliach of the Melech has a din like a Melech, and even if he changes, it's okay. And he's lazy and he doesn't go around to all the valleys. The Inu, the people who got their palm trees cut, Afsid and Afshayu, they lost, they should have claimed. The Boile, the Inkut Mikuli Bagi, Mishkal Domi, they could have gone to the other valleys and say, listen, they came to our valley and cut all the palm trees off, and they were going to go really to yours as well, please pay us. But they don't do it, it's their loss. Amar Rava, man de mishtakach bebeidori. So Beidori is in the field, and there was, let's say, where they collect the tvor to separate the peel, and there was 4 shutvim in the field, and 3 of them took their wheat home, and one of them was later in the Beidori, and the king's messenger came to take his taxes. So Para Mansa de Malka, he pays off the taxes to the king, and it's for everyone, and the other Shutvim can't say, okay, it was your fault. Because Dina de Malchusa Dina, and these taxes are legit, so the other partners have to share this loss of the taxes. They all have to pay the taxes, not only him, and they can't say it's your fault that you were there later. This is when they shutfim, when they partners, Avalarisa, if it was the Aris and they took away from Balabais, Arisuso de Komafik, he doesn't have a partnership in the actual field, he had only a partnership in the Paris, and therefore, if you took away the Aris, the Balabais has to pay all what they took away from him, or the opposite, if they took away from Balabais, the Aris doesn't have to chip him, because the reason why they take taxes, the taxes are for the land, not for the fruit. Bar Mosa, Miabet. If Reuven and Shimon live in the same city, Bar Mosa in this city, Bar Mosa and another person lives in the same city, Miabet, they could take, the guy who collects the tax, if Shimon's not paying his taxes, can take a mashkin from Reuven. That's talking about the Barla, Arav Daishata. That's talking about the taxes of this year. Meaning that, let's say this year Shimon didn't pay, so he could take from Reuven the deposit. If already, so my last year Shimon never paid, and the guy who's collecting the taxes already settled what he owes the king. Because basically the king would say, you collect the taxes, pay me $1 million, anything on top of that, take to yourself. So if already it's to my last year's taxes, he already paid the king his $1 million, and now it's a choiv to the person who's collecting the taxes. So he himself is not allowed to take a mashkin. Aval shata the cholif oil ve'efayis malko, since he paid off the king already, cholif, it's already a choiv to him, and he doesn't have the power to take a mashkin for someone else, that because someone else owes money. Says Rava, ani didari dori b'toy chatchum. These people who go with animals in the area of the city, and they go there and they sell the manure of the animals for the fields. Also, you're not allowed to buy an animal from there. They sometimes steal. They go, and then someone else's belongs, a private sheep that belongs to someone, or cow, and they just mix it with their own cows, and they keep going and they steal. So if you buy a cow off them or animal, you might be buying the one that he stole. If the gay is outside the tchum, so there's no cows hanging out there that they could steal, you're allowed then to buy from them animals. Amar Ravina, says Ravina, if you see that someone's chasing after them and saying, oh, you stole from me, even if it's far away from town, also it's not allowed to buy off them. There's Purim cotton. Everyone should have a very happy day, and lots of mazel and bracha and geula. Good Shabbos.